Hello Sagittarius, I'm just taking a moment to just take a breath. I've just cleansed the space with some beautiful rosemary and everything here smells divine. My name is Maria Guyan and I'm here to do my very first monthly tarot reading for you. Now, I am an intuitive business coach, so my readings are aimed at women who are in business. I don't do love and romance, although I love love and romance. I'm very romantic, but I don't do those sorts of readings. I'm here to help you to manifest your dream abundant business, and I can help you banish the blocks to your business success through my soul healing and coaching work. So let's get started and see what June 2021 has in store for you. I'm using the Spirit Song Tarot, which is my absolute favourite. Sometimes it takes me a little while to get all the cards out, so if you want to just take a few deep breaths, I've got jumpers. If you want to take a few deep breaths and just set your intentions for the month, that's fine. But I also understand if you want to just fast forward to when the video starts. Blimey, these cards are really energetic today. I had a day yesterday where everything seemed to be a bit excitable. They're jumping at me. Yesterday was really strange. I did readings for Leo, and then when I played the video back, there's like all these little tiny orbs flying around the cards, and I can't explain it. There was nothing there when I did the reading, I know there wasn't. But they're just, and it's not all over the table, it's not all over this altar, it was just around the cards. Fascinating. So if anybody's got any ideas what that was all about, I'd love to know. I've had a few sort of strange little experiences in here. I've had cards slide off the deck that have insisted on being read, which is fine, you know. I don't ask Spirit for guidance for no good reason. But the little tiny orbs were just something I've never experienced before. Oops, and another one jumping out. Gosh. It's like doing a workout. Bend over to one side, bend over to the other side. I'll have washboard abs by the time I've done. Good grief. Whew. Alright, okay. Nearly there, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. One more card. Thank you, Spirit. Let's just pop these back there. It'd be interesting to see whether there's anything sort of going on this time today, because I can see nothing. There's literally nothing here. So if anything pops up, just move that rosemary out of the way there. It smells so good. I don't use sage to smudge. I leave that for the Native Americans, the indigenous people. I feel that as a green witch we use what materials we have available to us, and my cleansing holy material that I have available to me where I live is rosemary. I have it growing wild on the mountain that I live on, and that is what I gather to do my cleansing rituals. Right, let's get started. This is a little Celtic cross. It's designed for women in business. Let's just get started. First of all, I'll go through the cards and then we'll look at the overall picture and we'll do a little recap at the end. So first of all, this is you. This is your theme, your energy for this month of June. We've got the Four of Feathers here. We've got a hibernating bear. The keywords on this card are sanctuary and rest, and this bear's having a lovely snooze in amongst the plants and the feathers. He looks so peaceful. That's a really nice energy for this month. It's a feeling of real stability, a real feeling of, you know, your thoughts being quite calm, everything being quite restful. In the other readings that I've done, it's been a mixed bag. There's been the lunar eclipse. We had the lunar eclipse, and it seemed to kind of hit people in two completely different ways. Some people were really conflicted, confused, tormented by it, chaos reigning all over the place. And then some of my friends have said, no, it's been amazing. I've had my project on hold for a little while, but then suddenly it just all fell into place and off it all went, and the energy's been amazing. And I personally have felt that. I'm a Gemini, which is your sister sign, but I felt that way too, and I feel this energy here is a really positive, calm, cool energy for June. This nice stability, time for perhaps a rest. Now, this card, all these other cards will relate back to this card. And so let's see what we've got going on in your present. Your present is the Moon card. Imagination and perception. I love the Moon card. The Moon card is one of my favourites. This is about intuition. It can also be a little bit about anxiety and perhaps an illusion, a little bit of fear. So that's an interesting thing. We'll come back to that because obviously we'll see how that fits with the rest of these cards. What's crossing you? Now, this usually represents challenges or obstacles in this reading. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes Spirit just says it's an advisory notice and something to be mindful of. Okay, like on your MOT, you either pass it, you fail it, or you get an advisory saying you might as well change your lights in the next couple of weeks because they're on their way out. This is kind of an advisory thing that Spirit likes to just point out. You've got the Lovers card. It's love in this deck rather than the Lovers itself. But this is about harmony and relationships, choices, values, being in alignment, possible trust issues. So again, we'll come back and see how that fits with everything else. Now, we have the subconscious mind, the Six of Feathers in reverse. I'm just going to check that you can see these cards. Yes, you can. I just feel a bit of a fool if I'm talking about these cards and then I realise that half of them have been cut off at the bottom. So we've got the Six of Feathers. When I talk about the subconscious mind, we have our conscious mind, which is what we are aware of, the kinds of things that we're thinking in our heads, that little voice that's constantly telling us what to do. The subconscious mind is a tricky little bugger. And he is full of limiting beliefs. His one and only purpose in life is to keep you safe, basically. Which in the caveman days was marvellous, because he stopped us standing on snakes because we were afraid of them. He stopped us leaving the tribe because we lacked protection from the rest of the tribe. We would likely die, we would starve to death or freeze to death. So we were designed to live as part of a tribe, and being rejected was like a death sentence. But the problem is, our subconscious has not evolved with the rest of us. So quite often your subconscious mind will do crazy things to keep you safe that are totally unnecessary and can actually stop us getting what it is that we really want. Now, I talk about this in other videos because the subconscious mind is something that is a tricky one. Like I say, he's a tricky little bugger, and he can stop us moving forward. We can consciously say lots of things. I don't know, for example, I want to lose weight. You consciously say, I want to lose weight, and you go out and you buy all the diet food, and then suddenly you find yourself eating a box of donuts and you think, why the hell am I eating them? I want to lose weight. Why have I craved these to such a point that I just couldn't resist them? And your subconscious mind is going, people look at you when you're thin. People have given you unwanted attention and you don't really want that. So actually, better to eat the donuts and stay fat and not have people look at you and notice you, because you don't like that. It makes you feel unsafe. Does that make sense? So this is basically the card representing what is going on in your subconscious mind, and we have the Six of Feathers but in reverse there. It's about transition and insight, the keywords on that one. We'll come back to that one as well. This is a card representing sort of harmony and cooperation. Again, it's a very intellectual, thoughtful reading, this one. A lot of this, you know, the feathers are to do with your intellect and your thoughts and what's going on in your mind. So again, we'll see the perfect card really for your subconscious, what's going on in your mind, isn't it, to have the feathers. So card number 5, this is what needs healing. This can be linked actually to this, because these subconscious thoughts, beliefs and feelings generally originate in your childhood, in your past. Something has happened to you, something, you know, because we were all born with this idea that we're perfect, everything's marvellous, we have no reason to doubt ourselves, we're very confident, and then a few years later we've had it all knocked out of us. We've had experiences, we've suffered loss, people have abandoned us, people have been cruel to us, people have said mean things, people have misspoken and said things that perhaps they've not even thought about, but it's broken our heart. And we end up with these soul wounds, and the soul wounds run deep, and the soul wounds then affect what goes on in our subconscious mind, because we don't want a repeat of that. So we've got the Six of Acorns there, again in reverse. So these sixes in reverse, that's quite interesting, that there's a lack of harmony perhaps, or again, we'll get back to it when we do the overall reading. This card represents your recent past, which is the last 3 to 6 months, and you've got Temperance, again in reverse. Now Temperance again is about balance and harmony, moderation, patience and purpose, but again it's in reverse. Now this is really interesting to me because I've been doing readings for a long time, and most of the time I get mostly upright cards, and I'll get the odd one that is in reverse. The last bunch of readings that I have done for June have been packed with reversals, and I've ended up having to go back to Spirit and saying, look, is this correct? Should I go with this? I think it was either the Cancer reading or the Leo reading, or maybe both of them, that came with absolutely loads. In fact, I think Cancer had something like 2 uprights and everything else was reversed. It just seems to be a common thread. Now, I didn't used to read reversals when I first started reading tarot, because I didn't want to give people anything that I perceived to be negative. But in my journey with the cards, I've learned that reversed cards are not negative. Reversed cards can reveal things that we need to heal, that we need to fix, that need addressing, that are perhaps hidden from view, and we aren't even aware they're happening. But as soon as we can become aware that they're happening, then we can deal with them. We can be empowered to deal with what the problems are. So let's look at card number 7, which is what you're consciously focusing on. And again, we're in reverse. This is the 9 of Shells. This is an emotional card. This represents your emotions. But again, we're in reverse. Okay. Number 8, we've got your near future, which is the World, in reverse. This is just crazy. This is crazy, Spirit. I don't really understand why we're getting all these reverse cards. I think this is going to be a tricky month for quite a few signs. But it could be a month of great change. I want to talk a little bit about the 14th of June. There is a clash between Saturn and Uranus. Or Uranus, I don't know how you would like to pronounce it. Uranus is probably better. Uranus always sounds a little bit rude to British people. It's a time for lasting transformation, and in order to make lasting transformation we have to address things that could possibly be holding us back. So I don't think that's a bad thing. Your external environment, 6 of Shells in the upright, yay! You've got the otters there, sentiment and joy. Your hopes and fears, yay, back in the upright again. The 5 of Shells, hope and readjustment. Yeah, it feels quite transitional, doesn't it, actually? We've got transition here. Okay. And then finally, if you work with the energies in this reading, we've got the Knight of Feathers. Back to feathers again, about your thoughts, what's going on in your head. This is about your ambitions, your drive, your thinking, some fast thinking. Okay, ignore my chair. I have a squeaky chair, I'll warn you now. I try not to shift too much, but every now and again I do, and it creaks like hell. So here we go with the Four of Feathers. Let's see what this overall reading is saying now that we know what all the cards are. This is you appreciating the value of a rest time. I think June will be a time for sanctuary for you. I think you need to be thinking about what you need to rest, recuperate, rejuvenate. I've just had the word spa, sanctuary or spa type of feeling, that you need to retreat and rest, that you've got some healing to do, that you might need to perhaps deal with a few things and take some time out to deal with a few things. Given all the reversals on there, I think there's going to be a couple of bumpy things that perhaps you need to get out in the open. Now we get to the Moon. I love this card. You got the owl there, and the owl sees really well at night. This is when owl is actually at her best. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's going to illuminate a situation. She's going to shed some light on something for you, and you're going to start seeing something really clearly. Okay? Maybe you already are seeing something really clearly. The truth is coming out, and it's time for you to deal with it. You might be a little bit afraid, but what I want you to do is trust your intuition on this one. Moon card is about using your intuition, and allowing that to guide your way to decide what decisions to make. Now, your challenge there over that was the Lovers card, which can be a little dodgy one sometimes. It can be about trust, and sometimes there being fear of trusting somebody. I don't think that you have to worry about trusting somebody now. Again, this is an intuitive card. It's about making intuitive choices, and here is Spirit with this advisory sort of saying, be careful, don't rush into anything, make sure that you use your gut instinct before you make any decisions. So, you know, obviously with whatever is about to be revealed, then you have choices to make, and I feel like it goes back to this. It's about not making rushed decisions, not making choices. I just got the words there, sleep on it. You need to sleep on it. Now, I don't know what this actual issue is. These are business and finance readings, but sometimes outside relationship things do come up because business and home life are intertwined, whether you like it or not, and sometimes partners, family, children can have an effect on your business. So I'm not saying that this is wholly business related, but I do feel that, you know, that there's something going to come out. It could be that perhaps you've got a partner who's been misbehaving, a business partner could be misbehaving, somebody's not done the right work that they were supposed to do, there's a delay in something, somebody's been fobbing you off, but now the truth is going to come out, and you have to trust your own intuition and make the right choice as to how to proceed. And as I said, Spirit keeps saying to me, sleep on it. Now, the root of your problem, or what's going on subconsciously for you, is the Six of Feathers in reverse, and this is she a damselfly? She's a dragonfly. Sometimes I get these mixed up. But yeah, she's a dragonfly. Keywords are transition and insight, but she is in reverse. This suggests that you are struggling to move forward with something, that you feel like there's a lack of cooperation from somebody. Again, this could come back to this, where somebody is trying to pull the wool over your eyes, and there could be delays in something, and this is related to that. Somebody's delaying something. You're going to find out why. Now, Spirit says it's time for you to look at other alternatives. Don't put just a band-aid over it all. Cobble it all together and hope it'll work. This is a time for quite radical change. So if this is a supplier who has not supplied your item, or a worker who's supposed to have done a job and hasn't done it, and now it's, you know, the shit's hitting the fan and it's all coming out, this is saying, you know, don't just go, oh, shrug your shoulders and say, oh, it's all right, and move forward. You need a permanent solution to whatever this issue is that comes up. You don't use that person again. Maybe you need to fire somebody. Maybe you need to find a new supplier. I don't know what it is, but this is saying that you need to look for a permanent solution to whatever this problem is, because otherwise it's going to rear its ugly head again. All right? So yeah, subconsciously you aren't moving forward. You're in a state of stagnation. You desperately want other people to work with you and to cooperate, but they're not really going that way for you. And you find that hard because, you know, you expect people to give their best as you give your best. So what needs healing? We've got the 6 of acorns there. Acorns are about your passion, your energy, your drive. It's a fire sign, but again we're in reverse. Now, this is about what needs healing, what can be popping up from your distant past. Now, I feel like sometimes you get a bit impatient and you try pushing things. You want to push things forward quickly. You can be quite demanding. And I feel like there's a lot of impatience, a lot of setbacks, a lot of frustration. And this is something that you felt before over similar sort of circumstances, and it's rising up again now. You need to look into why you feel so angry, why you feel so stuck, what it is that's really making you feel the way that you're feeling. I feel quite sort of tense in my chest. That you're quite angry about whatever this situation is, or at least you will be when you find out what it is. You're going to feel quite pissed off, quite frankly, and it's going to trigger you back to past feelings of being pissed off over a similar circumstance. So what I want you to do is examine those feelings when they come up and think to yourself, when have I felt these feelings before? Why am I feeling this now? Is it actually rational to feel like this, or is this the culmination? Is it an echo of feelings that I've had about a circumstance before? Just so that you're not overreacting. Take the emotion out of it if you can. But yeah, there's a definite feeling of stuckness. But actually, I feel like you're meant to be stuck. I know it's going to sound a bit crazy when all you want to do is perhaps move forward, but I feel like you're meant to be stuck, that this stuckness, instead of railing against it and being angry about it, you should use it as an opportunity to actually just have a rest and think, well, there's a delay in stuff, so I tell you what, I'm just going to put my feet up. I'm just going to chill out and just let whatever be, but just make sure it doesn't happen again. Okay, then we've got Temperance again in reverse. This has been so crazy. I can't believe how crazy this has been. This is your recent past. This is what's been going on sort of the last 3 to 6 months. I think this frustration's been going on a little while. And it's making you feel out of balance. It's making you feel less than harmonious. Why do I feel like there's somebody that's knocking you out of balance because they're not pulling their weight like you are, and you're quite mad about that. I feel like you're quite mad about that. But what Spirit is saying here is that you've you've had a need to see the bigger picture. In dealing with all of this, you need to see the bigger picture. Don't focus in on something and then react to it in a way that just, I don't know, ruins everything. I'm just going to take a moment there for a second because I thought I was picking something up, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think all this hasn't come out of the blue. I think this has been bubbling under the surface for a little while, and now it's time that it's all going to come out. But it'll be a good thing. I think it'll be a good thing, because everything, you know, it's always better when you get things off your chest. So what are you focusing on now? We've got the Nine of Shells again in reverse. This is bonkers. Still can't quite get over it. It's like every reading I've done, and it's got nothing to do with the way that the deck is either, because I checked it and checked it and checked it and they're all just coming out like this. What your conscious mind is focusing on is outcomes. You feel like everything's being delayed. You feel like people are making mistakes. You feel like they're perhaps complacent. Maybe you're being a bit complacent about things. Maybe you've been complacent and it's allowed some of this stuff to happen. Now, I'm not blaming you here, because when you run a business, it's hard. There's a lot of balls to juggle, and maybe, you know, you've got in the habit of trusting that somebody's going to get their job done, but for whatever reason they haven't. It's just been a comedy of errors, and, you know, it's left you feeling really out of balance, really grumpy, and in need of a rest, quite frankly. And I'm not surprised, because it just feels like everybody else is in chaos around you, and all you want to do is just move forward and get cracking, and everybody else is just, they're just in chaos. There's errors, there's delays, there's just a bit of stupidity, actually. But you've got to look now. Spirit's saying it's time for you to look now. It's time for you to investigate what the hell is going on and start to build strategies to mitigate this sort of thing happening again. You need to really look closely at what is going on and get your house in order, is what I feel here. So, the near future. We've got the World in reverse. Can you believe it? Of course you can. You know it's there. I know it's there. I'm just still incredulous is all. This in reverse is about challenges again. When it's upright, it's a brilliant card. It's about fulfillment and celebration. Fulfillment and celebration is coming. The fact that this card is reversed just says it's going to be delayed. It's going to take some time before this actually comes to be. But it's in your near future position. So I don't feel it's going to be miles and miles away. I think we're looking at maybe the next 3 to 6 months rather than, you know, sort of years. So don't give up. Keep focused. Keep moving forward. These delays, you know, it will end. I just think, like I said, I keep hearing, get your house in order. Get your shit together. Because then it will all start to come back to where it should be. Everything will be back in order and you'll be in control of things. You'll not feel so out of balance anymore. But I do feel, again, you need to take some time to rest. Don't be running around like a blue arse fly telling everybody what to do and shouting at everybody and, you know, calling them out on their crap. Sleep on it all before you actually go out there and deal with it. And deal with it in a nice, calm, measured way. Because there'll be a temptation to be a bit emotional about it. You're focusing on the emotional side of it with the Nine of Shells there. And that's not the right way to go about it. You need to think of it logically with your mind, with the feathers. Think feathers, not shells. Use your logic to deal with this. And deal with people logically. State the facts, state what you want, state what you expect out of people, and take it from there. Don't be screaming at them about what lunatics they are or what idiots they are or whatever, because that is not the way to fix this. So your external environment, despite all this mess, you've got the Six of Shells, which is about harmony and cooperation, sentiment and joy. So that just seems to contradict everything, doesn't it? Oh, how funny. I think honestly that there are going to be some really positive new beginnings here. I think you are going to feel better. I think around you it will feel calmer. I think, you know, in your mind you'll start to feel happier. Everybody around you actually will feel happier because of everything coming out and being on the table and being put out there and dealt with. So I feel like the people around you will actually appreciate you, you know, sort of helping them, because I think perhaps they felt chaotic. Perhaps they felt chaotic and rushed and like they're not really sure what they're doing, and that's where all these delays and errors have come from. And, you know, you actually sitting them down and saying, right, this is what I expect, this is how I expect the operating procedures to run, this is what I expect from you, this is what I want delivered. Maybe that will make things clear for them and they'll feel better and they'll cooperate more with you after that. So we've got hopes and fears, which are the Five of Shells. So we're going a little slightly backwards there. And we've got Firefly. Now Firefly I love. Fives tend to talk a little bit about conflict and a little bit of tension. So I think really there's probably a worry that by doing, you know, what I've said about putting your cards on the table and being honest and saying this is what I want, that perhaps people will be upset by it. But that's not what I'm getting from this card. I'm feeling that it will smooth a path. And you know, how many times have you had, I don't know if you can relate to this, but there's so many places where I've had one member of staff that's been a real dickhole, excuse my French, but they're the one that causes all the trouble. They're the one that just drives everybody to distraction, and everybody moans about them, and you know, they're the one that starts the gossip. They're the one that doesn't wash up the coffee cup. They're the one that just, you know, sends the email that is just should never have been sent. And you can never quite get rid of them for whatever reason. But I feel like it's possible that putting the cards on the table and getting rid of whatever this problem is, it will clear a path for you to have a lot calmer time. And I think everybody's environment will be better as a result. Okay. Right, and then your outcome. Your projected outcome is the Knight of Feathers, which I've just said. It's about your ambition, it's about fast thinking, but this guy's in reverse. Now, this is about confusion, quarrels, impatience and temper. It's about thinking before you make a move. And that again brings us all the way back to this. I keep being told, sleep on it. Whatever this comedy of errors is, whatever this complete cluster mess is, sleep on it before you respond. Do not respond in a fiery manner, which is difficult for a Sag, I know, but don't be fiery about it. You need to be calm. You need to just go to bed, have a nice massage and a drink and a manicure and all that, and just chill and make a strategic decision on what you want to do. I've already talked about the possibility of firing a supplier or a staff member or a partner or somebody that is causing some of this turmoil. That is not me giving you permission to walk in there and just yell you're fired, get stuffed and get your stuff and clear off. This is me saying that might be the outcome, it might be the suitable outcome, but what I want you to do is strategize first. It could be that they just need to move or be retrained or be told to do something differently. I don't know, maybe communication needs to be better, but think. I want you to be 100% sure before you make your decision. Don't get into arguments. is the big thing that I'm being told. Don't get into arguments, sleep on it. You must sleep on it. Right, Sagittarius, I hope I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that that has resonated. It's another, well, this month has just been, there's been quite a few sort of bumpy bits in these readings, but I don't want to sugarcoat. I don't want to tell you a load of bunkum just, you know, so it's all happy and you think everything's marvellous and perfect, because life isn't like that. Life is complicated. Life is very complicated, and you know, life contains struggle, and it would be a boring life if we didn't have to struggle, let's be honest. But there are ways and means of doing things, and I feel like that's what Spirit is trying to say. You can fix this mess, this confusion, this stagnation, this, you know, whoever's not cooperating. You can fix it, but it's going to take some strategy and some logical thinking on your part. Don't go rushing in, feeling all emotional. Right, again, I'm jumping. I've got another jumper. And you've got Beaver Spirit. Oops. And Beaver Spirit says lay a solid foundation. And I feel that that is the key to this. That you need to just take a step back. Think about what you really want your business to look like. Think about how you want your business to be. How you want it to work on a daily basis. What kind of people do you want working for you? What kind of clients do you want? What customers do you want? Who are you serving? Think it through really logically, and then compare it with what you have now. What is going on now? And look at how you can get from A to B to make it more like what you want. Because I think quite often we start businesses and we have no idea what they're going to look like. We have, I suppose, some crazy dreams about how, you know, we're going to sit on a beach with a laptop and a gin and tonic in our hands, and everything's going to be marvellous, and we're going to have a bunch of staff working in the offices, and everything's going to work really smoothly, and we're just going to cash a cheque at the end of the month. And then we get into business and realise actually it's not like that at all. It's 60-hour weeks. It's staff members who never know what the bloody hell they're doing. They never do the job the way that we want it doing, and we always seem to be cleaning up messes. That, you know, things go wrong, errors are made, we have to take responsibility sometimes, we have to apologise sometimes, we have to refund people. We create things that everybody hates and we sell not a jot of them. It's hard. So sometimes it's about just stepping back and reevaluating, taking that time to just reevaluate what we want our business to look like. Does it make you happy? Is it working? Is it a really lovely, smooth, well-oiled machine? Well, this reading currently says, is it heckers like? Something is clogging up the well-oiled machine and it needs to be sorted out. So that is my advice for you for this month. If you would like a private reading, the links are all below this video. Thank you so much for keeping me company, Sagittarius. Please do like and subscribe to my channel. It's a very baby channel, and I'm relying on people like you to help me grow it so I can get my message out there to more people so that they can manifest their magical business and banish the blocks to their success. So this is me signing out. Please let me know in the comments below if this resonated with you and what's going on and which member of staff of yours is a dickhole. You don't have to mention names if you don't want, you know. You don't have to put it publicly, but, you know, I'm interested to know. I'm nosy. And I will see you next time. This is Maria signing out.